Seems legit.
Alright, I got a new toy. Let's play with it. So this is a tufting kit by a Clawlab. So basically what we're going to do is make a very cool custom floor rugs. I haven't opened it yet, so I have no idea what's in it. I thought we'd all open it together. We've got some yarn. We've got, this looks like it's going to be like a non-slip backing. And the gun. I don't know what colour I've got. It looks like the gun comes in two colours. It's like a white and pink or a grey. I feel some stickers coming on in my immediate future. We are absolutely speeding up me ripping open this box. And let's continue. Cardboard over there. We've got some cloth. It looks like a cross-stitch cloth. I'm hoping that the book will tell me exactly what it is, but we get a decent amount to start with. It's also been overlocked at the edge. So we get a decent sized piece of cloth, which is amazing. And then, oh, I love it when you get Allen keys with a handle. I know that's like such a weird thing to love, but I really do. And then this is to attach it to the table. Oh, there we go. Oh wow, it comes in like a cool box. That's awesome. It'll be much nicer to pack away in a box. And then, okay, I got the cool grey one. Love that. Stickers are coming. And then there's more instructions in here as well. So that's what it looks like. I'm also going to need an adapter because that is not an Australian plug. So I will get an Australian plug on that, which I think I can get from Big W or Anaconda for anyone that lives in Australia. So that's cool. I will get the adapter plug and I'm going to read the instructions before we... Okay, so the frame is set up. Let's now put the cloth on. So the first thing I like to do is this bar at the top has a curved part here. You need to make sure that that is facing directly up like so. And then I'm going to take the cloth, feed it up through here, and this just twists by hand. So I'm going to stick the cloth to the Velcro. This will ensure that it doesn't move while we're going. It will also wrap up the excess so it's not dangling it in the way. Like that. Right, make sure it's stuck on there, run your hands across it, everyone's a winner. So then it's gone through there, and this is all the excess we've got. What I want to do is take this bottom bar, and I'm going to make sure that it's also directly up and down. Now these two click kind of back and forth. See how that moves? So what we're going to do is we're going to open it up as wide as we can, feed the bottom of the cloth through the gap. Now, if you want to, you can leave all the gap, all this excess fabric at the bottom and tighten it this way, but I'm going to do it the opposite way. This also allows you to be able to do like a longer piece than the actual mat is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it up on the bar at the top. I want to have a little bit of overhang, otherwise we won't be able to grip it. And then you can almost push them together and then we just start twisting. So this one will twist down, this one will twist up. So you can almost do it at the same time if you wish. And the bottom one, just let go. Sorry, that's my fault. Such is life. Let's try that again. To be fair, I've never done this before. We might need to have more at the bottom. I don't know. Alright, tuck it in, push them together, that might help our cause, and then twist it. So the idea is that it's going to clamp on and twist around. Give it a little bit like that, and then we're going to start twisting them both in the opposite direction. Making sure that the bottom one has gripped nicely, and then we're going to do the top one. tight. I'm also going to grab the side here. Actually, I might need to loosen it a little bit so I can put the side bits in, and then it clamps on like that. You also want to make sure that these little bits are all the way up. That little bit of looseness just allows us to grab this to clip it in like that. Happy? Like that. Then we can tighten it back up. Whoops. Don't push the button. And then you push down on these and it will pull taut this way as well. And that is now almost a drum with how tight it is. You can just keep tightening as you see fit. I don't think you can over tighten it. I could be wrong, but I don't think you can. But that is very, very firm. So with that being done, now we can draw our design. So I do not own a projector. I probably need to get one, but for today I've decided on a half a spider web because I need to replace the mat at our back door because currently we just have an ugly bath mat, and I thought a cool spider web would be nice. So I want to do it pretty much the whole length of this. So I'm going to get a permanent marker and draw it on. I don't know if you know this about me, but I am a terrible drawer. So I've got a ruler in the false hope that it's going to help.
We're not judging me on this.
So now we have established that I cannot draw. It's fine. Let's grab our gun. I have plugged it in. I went and got an adapter from Kmart. And then I went and got, just because I don't think there's enough in the basket that it comes with, so I went and got some 8-ply acrylic yarn. This was $2.50 at Kmart. You can get yarn everywhere. Acrylic feels fine to me. Making it out of pure wool just seems a bit excessive for me. So we're going to take the wool. Now I'm probably going to have it in a basket on the floor because that makes sense. We're going to take the gun and then you take off this cover and it looks lovely and stabby. And the other thing we're going to need is this bad boy. So it's got like a bunch of holes. So the first thing we want to do is put the yarn through the loop. So it is metal, but it's bendy metal. So you can just put it in like so. And then it's got this fun gauge. So we want to go, whoops, tail first, preferably without doing that. My solution might be to have a longer tail. I feel like the point of these is to make it come from the back of the gun, and then I'm going to go through there, pull, and then down the hole here, like so. Right, pulling it through kind of straightens the wire out a bit too. And you want to make sure that nothing is twisted. So that's too long of a tail to leave, but it's going through there, down there. Happy days. I'm going to pull it so it's got less. Then we're going to turn it on. And the end lights up, which is fun. And then you can twist it up and down. It's got different modes. But what I want to do is I want to come over here, and so we... Oh, it worked! So you want to stab this through. Oh my god, that was so cool. You want to stab it up to the edge. So let's just start. I am feeling confident. Stab it in. And then we want to try and, I want to turn it up. So I'm wondering if I twist that it'll go faster. Oh, it does! And again, we want this to unravel nicely. I'm sure you woolen people know a way to do that. I, however, do not. It looks amazing. So, moving along. I don't know the speed with which to move. And then we're going to stop. Yeah, I definitely feel good about buying a lot of wool. Oh no, it just come unthreaded. Okay, so that's going to happen because it cuts it, because it's all fluffy on the other side. Let's have a look from the other side. Right, let's do it from the other side.
Okay, so I have sped this up, or we'll be here for hours. It did take a few hours to do, but the idea is that you should do the outside lines first to have like your basis of where you're trying to color in, and then come along and fill it. So we'll switch back to this side. You can see much easier on this side. I'm sure you can't see probably as well as me because it's white on white. It does take a while, but we get there. And then I've just stopped halfway through to chop off all these tails because I feel like they're getting in my way. I'm not pulling on them or anything. I'm just hacking them off roughly. And this is about where I decide to do the 2 strands. And I promise this works so much better. The gun stops undoing. And I feel like it's fuller and everything just works out better with the 2 strands. So even though it is 8-ply acrylic, I do the 2 layers. Let's have a look at the other side. Again, I've sped it up. My lines are not very straight, but that's my terrible drawing skills. Hard at work right here. So we've done all of the white and now we are on to the black. So we thread both of them through. You just do it at the same time. I like to go through the top of the gun. I feel like that's why it's there for. And I also have no trouble with it kind of tangling or anything because it's going through the top of the gun and then it's not over near my hand. So when doing curves, you want to slow it down, the gun, and go slower when you want to do an outline. And then I like to go faster for the infill, or filling it in, however you want to call it. I don't know the official terms. So you can see here, I did try the whole, oops, and that's just me flicking it. I did try doing it just in lines from bottom to top. That actually happened because it had a knot in it. But I find that tracing around the edge does work much better for me personally. So I trace the edge and then I just basically color it in, treat it like a coloring book. I have used that little thing. You get 3 of the little threaders in case you break or lose some, which is lovely. And you also have to push that back button after you haven't used it for a while. It kind of goes into standby mode, which is really good if you've got kids. They can't come up and stab themselves with it unless they know to turn it back on. So I do try to get the lines fairly close together. And then I hold them when I adjust the yarn, just to make sure. But once I had the 2 layers, I found that it would pull from the center of the ball with very little difficulty from then on. It does feel weird stabbing the fabric because you are moving all of the little kind of fibers, but it works out really, really well. So let's have a look from the other side. It's way more fun to watch me color it in from this side. You can see it all coming together. I didn't do it in any particular order. I just did however I felt like at the time. I do try and do nice long lines, but you can do it however you want. So now we're going to come and trim it all off because I have finished. Yay! And I've sped this up because it does take a while. And then I'm going to use a Gorilla Glue and just paint it on with a really big paintbrush all over the back. This will seal all of the threads and make it wonderful. So I took about 2 hours to dry and now it's feeling wonderful. So I'm just going to take my scissors and stab into it again. We all know I love to stab things. And then we're just going to cut around, and I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch seam allowance for those that sew. You can also just cut it even rougher like this and then trim it down when you get it off the mat. You could also take the whole thing off and then cut it. It is whatever suits your personal style best. So you can see here I'm just hacking at it, and then I have laid down the felt backing, put it on top, and I'm now cutting it better and together. So you can tuck under the edges and glue it like I have done there. People tend to use hot glue guns. I don't have a lot of luck with hot glue guns in Townsville where the heat is, so we're going to sew it because I can sew. And most of you who know who I am probably also can sew it as well. So I'm just going to level them out to make them fairly even. And then I'm going to just put binding around the edge. Now I picked black binding because that to me felt like it made the most sense. Also, for my next one, I would probably want to make it a bit bigger. Once I put this at the floor, it didn't quite reach as much as I would have liked. But for my first ever rug, I am still very, very proud of this. So you can see here, I am putting the layers together. And I've put the binding over the edge. And then we're just going to, with a 2.5 stitch length, stitch the binding and kind of curve it around. Now, again, this was my first ever time. I would recommend either clipping it together or pre-stitching around the edge to hold the two layers together, because it does get quite fiddly quite quickly, but I think it still comes out amazing. We are using some clippers I found in my bathroom cupboard, and then you are just going to move along slowly and take off any of the fluff that's just a little bit too high. When it's right in front of you, you can see it much, much better. I did see where somebody kind of did all of the angles and curved all of the different edges. That's a bit advanced for me for my first ever one, but you can see here by just taking off that little bit, it does look much, much neater and less kind of chaotic. It's not perfect, but for my first ever one, I'm still very, very happy with it. Just take off the fluff. You also want to kind of try and curve the edges. I found that made it look a lot nicer as well. And that's pretty much all there is to it then. You just shake off the fluff and then you can put it where it wants to live. So I hope that you loved this video, and if you liked it, please click the like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys!